So he says this, unless you turn and then become. Now, wait a minute, Dr. Moody. So there's more to it, right? Because most of us never turn. Some of us turn and stop. And you stop became. You stop becoming. And you start telling God, this is just how I am. You know how I work. You know how I am. I'm just saying, I just don't like order like that. I don't like nobody in my life like that. I mean, you know, you made me this way, God. I don't really roll like that. I ain't finna let all this stuff in my life. I don't like church people. I'm not gonna come to church. I don't like pastors. Ain't nobody gonna boss me around. Ain't nobody gonna tell me what to do. You ain't gonna change my schedule. You ain't gonna mess with my money. Ain't none of that happening. I just add a little Jesus to my life. So I'll even turn. But I will not. So that means this, if you stop and you are static in your life, and wherever you're arguing with God about, and God is saying, do this, and you're saying, I don't want to do that. And God is saying, go here, and you say, I don't want to go here. And God is saying, give this, do this, be this, and you're arguing with him. That means you stopped becoming. Becoming is a real transition to a brand new state. It's not just imitation. Most of us mistake imitation for change. So I figure out, I look at church people and I learn how to act like them on Sundays. And I know how to give a shout. I know how to give a little cry. I know how to give a little dance. Every now and then I give a little money. But you know what? I'm not really going to go all the way in there like that, because my thing is I wanted Jesus in my life a little bit. But I didn't want him to take over my life. So if the kingdom hadn't changed your schedule, if the kingdom ain't changed your budget, if the kingdom ain't changed your purpose, if the kingdom ain't changed your priorities, if the kingdom ain't changed your friendships, if the kingdom ain't changed your family, then you have not changed. I'm making sense. All you did was start looking at the kingdom. But you never entered in. Am I clear? So the saints say this. The saints are saying, wait a minute, Jesus, since we've been following you, we're doing all this stuff. They said, which one of us is going to be the greatest in the kingdom? So they asked the question. So they competing against each other for a race they all losing. You ain't even on the track. And you talking about the gold medal. Who's going to win the gold medal this year in the Olympics? I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. Where are you even ranked in the world rankings? No. So you ain't even going to be invited to try out. I just believe that if I wanted to, I can get out there, do my thing. So you didn't get an invitation. Well, no, but I'm saying, I bet if I got on that track, I bet you if you got on the track, you'd be arrested. Can you see on the world championships? They got out and they announcing all the people, and you come out in your jogging suit. They're going to be streaker. Get him off the track. There's an intruder. The security guard is going to come running after you. Why? Because you're not even in the game. So they were asking, how do we rank ourselves? And so think about it. Many kingdom citizens are looking at one another, and you're saying, I'm doing better than them. I'm living better than them. I know that at least I'm better than them. And Jesus said, what are you talking about better? You're not even in the race. They said this. They said, well, Jesus, which one was going to be on top? And Jesus says, let me give you an illustration. He says, bring a little child. He said, come here, baby. Sits the child on his lap. And then he says this, let me tell you this kingdom principle. Unless you turn, strepo, and become genomai, it says you won't ever be the greatest because you are not even in the race. So can you imagine that means this, that the answer to this question about greatness, he said the answer is you got to make sure that you are in the becoming place. Before you can, don't even think about ranking. So that means this, that everybody here who said, well, I've been around Dr. Moody long enough, he knows me, he knows how I roll. Stop becoming. I've been in this ministry for X amount of years. I serve here. Stop becoming. I went to new members class. I came. I graduated. I came on the stage. I got my little certificate. I smiled in front of everybody. And then since then you ain't done jack. Stop becoming. Clear enough, right? And so what's happening is this: if you can imagine that there is no genomai happening. It's only imitation. That people are not becoming. You can turn my neck. You can go to the next slide now. Funny, that first they were in front of me. Now they're like, we'll wait for you then, because we don't want to be rebuked. Now you got rebuked again. Now I'm messing with you. So where else do we see the word genomai? Where else do we see the word genomai? Understand this, because it's genomai is just in Matthew 18:3. Because remember, when we talk about a principle, I always argue with you, the principle should be consistent throughout, right? Right, and so genomai, we get it. Becoming in Matthew 18, I see it. Turn in Matthew 18, I see it. But is that just your opinion because you feel in some kind of way, Dr. Moody? Now, let's look at this. John 1:14. And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. The same word, genomai, is there. The same word, the same verb. And now that means this. Wait a minute. I'm going to mess with you something. Theologically. So that means that God, the Son, God, the Word, had to become. Dr. Moody. John 1:1. In the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So he just is. He just was, right? But in John 1:14, then what? He then became. So he had to then become, which means it took God, get this, to come out of eternity and to become, to step into time. Am I making sense? That the divine, the powerful, the eternal word had to enter the human condition. That means the God of history had to walk in and become limited. The God who had no limits had to then put himself intentionally, he had to become limited. He had to wrap himself in flesh. So the God who was everywhere at the same time had to then become limited to one space. He had to become. Am I making sense? He had to become, right? Right. So he didn't merely have to just imitate flesh. I'm gonna say it again. We think if I act right, I could go to heaven. God says I couldn't just act human, I had to become. So if God had to become human, why do you think you can't, that you don't have to become? Am I making sense? So the unlimited had to become limited so that the limited could become unlimited. Am I making sense? So that means this, that there's two directions here. That God had to become the incarnational movement. In other words, that God had to become. He had to have downward, condescending movement to then put himself in a limited space. Right? So now, he loved us enough that he became flesh. So the divine had to put himself in a limited space of flesh. Why? So that you could have access to upward movement, so your flesh could have upward movement to now be a son or a daughter to the divine. So God had to come down and become so you could come up. Am I making sense? But if you can imagine, so God says, I became. The problem is, you don't want to become. So if I had to become to step out of time, to step out of the kingdom into time, but you don't want to become to step out of time into the kingdom. Am I making sense to somebody? Making sense? So we became because God first became. If he didn't become flesh, I couldn't be adopted as a son or a daughter. If he didn't become flesh, then I couldn't have a relationship with God. If he didn't become flesh, am I making sense? Then I have no way to get my sins forgiven, because he did all of that so that I could now have a relationship with him. But could you imagine that he says, I became so you can become. And we said, I don't want to become. I just want to be. So when you're arguing, God, let me be. When you're arguing, God, just understand the way I am. This is how my mind works. This is just how I am. You got to understand, Dr. Moody, this is, I'm just crazy like that. You got to understand, Dr. Moody, I'm just disobedient by nature. You got to understand, the church got to understand. I'm going to always be late. The church got to understand. No, I'm going to do it the way I want to. Why? Because you stopped becoming. And so now, when I argue with you, when you argue with me, you stop arguing becoming, because you're always arguing because. So if you can imagine, we got a becoming theology and a because people. We got a God that's saying keep moving, and you're saying, let me tell you the reason why I need to be left alone. Am I making sense to anybody? I ain't getting no help from the front row. The second row is mighty quiet up in here. And it's only 3 people on the first row. So why is this important? God said you got to talk to them about this, because what's happened is this: everybody in their mind has become a because person. He said from the front row to the back row, from the right to the left, everybody in here can argue why they are the way they are. And even when you're preaching, what comes against your preaching is because people begin to argue while the word is going forth. They be like, I ain't gonna be able to do that because oh no, I ain't gonna be. I can't. I ain't them. And so notice, God's trying to deliver you and move you to unlimited. But while He's trying to move you to unlimited, your because is limiting you. So the because mentality. So now, how do you know you have this? Because you always are explanation or defense driven.
Let me explain.
This is the way my parents were. You don't understand. This is where I come from. You don't understand. Wait, Pastor. When you talk to me this way, it ignites the trauma on the inside. when you look at me, Pastor, and you go, my father did that 89 years ago. And now I feel rejected because you keep looking at me going,
Bring it up bad memories, sir. Bring it up bad memories.
because my parents, right? I respond like this. Listen, because I'm black, I can't be on time. You know how we are, Pastor? Because I'm Latino, and some of y'all black and Latino, so y'all it's a mess. So everybody, you know how we are, you know how our people are, everything else. Listen, you know how we do at The Rock. So that means this. So that means that there are kingdom principles that are nullified because of your because. Because God can't challenge you because. This principle is nullified because. You can't be a leader because. You can't give that because. You can't do that because. Am I making sense? So you have an explanation. Wait, Pastor, wait. Let me explain. Wait. Let me explain. Let me tell you why. You're not listening to me. I don't feel heard. I don't feel supported. Can you at least listen? Ooh, it's quiet in here. You can hear a pin drop. So that means this, that the because mentality has you at a place where the minute something comes at you, your brain immediately pops up with defenses or excuses. Listen, even if you don't articulate them, you sit there and look, and in your mind be like, they don't understand. They don't understand. See, if they knew me better, if they understood where I came from. Now, the second thing is this: you are backward facing. What do you mean? The center for all of your causes is always in your past. That your causal analysis is, this is why I do this. And so you can't finish school. Why? Because. You can't finish the job. Why? Because you didn't apply. Why? Because you quit. Why? You got fired. Why? It's always, and you always in your mind got a justification. Why? It's a good one, but it's not a God one. Just because something makes sense to you doesn't mean that it's biblical. And so you use your past to validate everything. Am I making sense? And then that means the responsibility shifts. That means you no longer have the responsibility for anything in your life. Why? Because of this.
Thank you for worshiping with us today. If you liked this message, you can find the rest at cmllcstore.com. We invite you to join us again for our extraordinary worship services every Sunday at 10:30 a.m., Sundays at 4 p.m., and Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. Central, where Dr. Moody teaches how to understand the Bible, and you can get all your biblical questions answered. We look forward to connecting with you. We ask that you subscribe to The ROCK-ATX on YouTube and follow The ROCK-ATX on Facebook and Instagram to stay connected to all The Rock is doing. You can also get connected on our website at TheROCKATX.org. Again, thank you for worshiping with us, and be blessed.